Hello, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Livetalk, The Connection, a platform where we discuss issues affecting young people. We are coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington this Tuesday, October the 3rd, 2023, and I am Evans Zeninga. And today we are talking about the official opening of Parliament that was boycotted today by the opposition Citizens Coalition for Change, saying the Zimbabwean leader, Emmerson Mnangagwa, the president, is not a legitimate president. But before we dive deep into that, let's take a look at Zimbabwe's return to the Miss Universe pageant after a whole lot of 22 years, and this is coming back for the first time with a lot of controversy after Zimbabwean white lady was nominated a winner. Brooke Brack Jackson, aged 21, clinched the title to represent Zimbabwe at the upcoming Miss Universe in El Salvador in December. The Zimbabwe competition was the first in 22 years to be held in the country.
Hello everyone, I am Brooke Jackson, Miss Universe Zimbabwe, and I am here today with the Voice of America. I am feeling very honored and privileged being the chosen one to represent Zimbabwe, and in the same breath I am feeling overwhelmed and pressured because Zimbabwe hasn't been at Miss Universe for the past 22 years, and therefore I have to ensure that I market brand Zimbabwe in the best way possible. So first of all, my hope is obviously bringing the crown home and making history. But apart from that, I hope to be an ambassador of social change. I am an advocate for the financial inclusion of businesses in the informal sector, especially those run by women. 65% of women in Zimbabwe work in the informal sector, and therefore I would like to give them access to microfinance so that they can expand their businesses and just do what they want to do in life and just improve their overall livelihoods for themselves and their families. I also hope to be an inspiration to the youth of Zimbabwe and hopefully the world to just show people that if you really want something in life, you can work towards it, and your ethnicity, your background, your culture, your gender, your age does not define you as a person. And my promise to everybody is to be an embodiment of Zimbabwe's culture, people, and values, and to just represent Zimbabwe to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
And that there was the Miss Zimbabwe Universe winner for Zimbabwe. Her name is Brooke Brack Jackson, and she was in Harare, and she will be participating at the Miss Universe in El Salvador in December, raising the Zimbabwe flag high. Now back to our main topic. Today, President Emmerson Mnangagwa officially opened the first session of the 10th Parliament at the Chinese-built Parliament building in Mount Hampden. But the event was boycotted by members of the Citizens Coalition for Change, saying they cannot honor Mr. Mnangagwa as president. The opposition is accusing the governing party of rigging elections in August. And in his State of the Nation address, Mr. Mnangagwa called on Parliament to review several laws. Now, responding to the Triple C not showing up today, oh yes, it was a no-show for real, the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Ziyambi, said the opposition's absence was insignificant.
Committees and Parliament business is starting in earnest.
Are you going to include them in those committees?
If they come and apologize, yes, but if they are not there, we can't have people in committees who are not there, because the business of government has to start.
And short and straight, that was the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Ziyambi, in Harare today, talking to Studio 7's Godwin Mangunja when he asked to comment about the Citizens Coalition for Change not showing up. But VOA also managed to speak to CCC spokesperson Promise Makwananzi, who said the party's lawmakers stayed away from Mnangagwa's first speech in Parliament because it viewed the 81-year-old leader as illegitimate. Now let us take a quick break, and briefly we will come back. Please stay tuned. Don't go away.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
Welcome back. And if you're just joining us, this is Live Talk, The Connection, and we are coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. And we are streaming live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We are also live on YouTube as VOA Zimbabwe. Now let's bring in our guests tonight, and we joined by Mr. Tim Muringai, who is a CCC official based here in North America in Ohio, and as much as we are struggling to get through with the phones in Zimbabwe, we also have Mr. Francis Mufambi, who is a ZANU-PF Information Officer. Gentlemen, if you can hear me, shout out to you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Zininga. Thank you.
Awesome. You know what? Let's kick the ball rolling, and I will start with you, Mr. Muringai. You know, I understand today CCC pulled up a no-show at the opening of Parliament at the 10th session, and your proportional, and the CCC members of Parliament did not come at all for this event. What's your take? Why would you do that? Let's start from there.
Thank you, Mr. Zininga. As we already know, we have the SADC Election Observer Mission report. Some of the articles have already come out. They're saying Section 52A and C were not fulfilled, whereby ZEC, on the day prior to the elections, had told the elections officials from SADC that everything was okay and they had everything that they needed, which was not true. They then showed all the reports about the missing ballots, the indelible ink that was not inspected, boxes in 300 places that were not secured, 500 polling stations that had issues with names of people and stuff that the Zimbabwean government had assured the whole region that everything was okay. So in light of that, I know you spoke to our spokesperson, Mr. Mkwananze, who already told you our position, which means that Mr. Mnangagwa is in illegitimate position, and we are saying let's do a rerun of fresh, new, credible elections supervised by our brothers in the region.
Wow. Before I cross over to Mr. Mufambi, perhaps let me drop a second question right there. Was it really necessary, though, to boycott the parliament session? I'd like to believe these members of parliament have been sworn in already by the president. Was it really necessary to boycott today?
No, like you're saying, you're calling Mr. Mnangagwa the president, but SADC is saying he's not duly elected. We are saying the ZANU-PF representative, Mr. Mnangagwa. So we don't have a president as we speak in Zimbabwe, legally and procedurally.
Okay, we will come back to you and we will pick it from there. Let me give Mr. Mufambi a chance. Mr. Mufambi, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So I heard earlier on in the day, the chief whip of parliament, the Triple C, Vachibaya, he said to Studio 7, ZANU-PF was just holding their own meeting at parliament, and they don't seem bothered at all by the cabinet, by everything that's been going on. What's your take to the absence of Triple C at the opening of parliament today?
Okay, thank you very much, and good evening, listeners. It is a pleasure actually to join you today and discuss this post-election period and the way forward after the ZANU-PF victory. First and foremost, I think it's important for me to express my gratitude to the people of Zimbabwe for their overwhelming support and trust in the ZANU-PF party. We are humbled by the mandate that they gave us, and we promise to work totally towards the progress and prosperity for our beloved country. I think our victory on its own was a testament to the democratic ideals that Zimbabwe upholds. And the international community is concerned that that is why we got even congratulations from the United Nations Secretary General. Turning to the neutral by the CCC, I think it is our view that as a party we don't pay a border because one person is enough number to get parliamentary business done. What is interesting actually is those CCC MPs came to sleep at the designated hotels in Harare, and they ate the food at the expense of the taxpayers. And later, after the program, they had to come and ask for fuel. These are the products of accident of victory that we raised as the opposition in Zimbabwe. And it's clear actually to the people of Zimbabwe that voting for such people is quite a great mistake. Now, at the end of this post-election phase, our focus is not on partisan politics. Our focus is on uniting the nation and working towards a brighter future for all Zimbabweans. And our needs that priorities include maybe digitalizing the economy, creating job opportunities, improving the healthcare, education, and making sure that we foster inclusive growth. And as a party, we do that by utilizing an inclusive approach that will involve all sectors of society, including the private sector, including the society. Yes.
Ndokumbira kukubata muromo zvishoma. We are having a very heated subject today here, and the calls have already started coming in. I want to believe the listeners are also paying attention to what Vamfambi and what my brother also Tim Muringai is saying. Pane varikuda kutopindura izvezvi. Ndipei mukana tinzwe kuti muteereri varikuda kuti kudii tidzoke kwamuri. Caller, can you hear us?
Yes, ndikukunzwai.
Muri kupi?
Ndiri Zimbabwe, Chitunguza.
Right. Vechidiki vari kuchema-chema, vari kutaura zvakawanda, vanotsigira ZANU-PF vari kufarira zviri kuitika, vanoishoropodzawo vari kuti zvinhu hazvisi kufamba zvakanaka. Imisewo chidiki mapinda muchirongwa, kandaiwo pfungwa dzenyu, zvakamira sei?
Ndinotenda mukoma wangu. Yes, hongu avo vanenge vachitaura kuti vari kufarira zviri kuitika, I think veZANU-PF vanenge vachibhadharwa kuti vataure zvisiri zvepersecution in Zimbabwe. Right now, as I'm speaking in Zimbabwe, I think they're not looking good. And I'm happy nenyaya yekuti ma-legislators e-Triple C havana kuattenda parliament yavhurwa navaMnangagwa because he is not elected. Akabira sarudzo, akabira ma-election. So there is nothing chatingataure kuti vangange vachienda kuparliament vachinoteerera zvinenge zvichitaurwa nemunhu asina kusarudzwa nevanhu. Saka I'm happy nezviri kutaurwa navangadziore kuti kusaenda kwaita vanhu kuparliament zvinoratidza kuti tinoda kuti dzimwe nyika dzione chokwadi chiri paground kuti kunonge hakuna kuitwa sarudzo dzakajeka. Saka isusu sechidiki wanoti happy with ZANU-PF and totokumbirisawo kuti dzimwe nyika dzipindire that issue.
Right, aiwa tinokutendai mukoma silence nekupinda muchirongwa kwamaita. I'm hoping Vamufambi and Vamuringai also heard the comments that you shared right there. Regai ndidzoke kwamuri varume. Vamuringai, you heard the Speaker of Parliament said he's looking at ways to punish the Member of Parliament for CCC for not following parliamentary procedures. How do you react to that one?
Thank you, Azininga. Well, the one thing that the Speaker of Parliament has to realize is like Zimbabwe is not a fiefdom, it's not a monarchy. I see it Zimbabwe and everyone is Zimbabwe. Anybody from naturally in Benga, anybody from Dilwadzimu in Bait Bridge can be a leader of Zimbabwe when elected. There was no election that is free and credible. So they can harp on anything, and all these other things. What I want to say to all the youth is this. President Edu Chamisa has stood by you, the voter and the youth. Vote yakarwirwa nevabereki vedu nanasekuru vedu, ropa rikadeuka pakashaika vanhu vakawanda kuti kuve nevote, kuti kuve nefreedom of speech, kuti zvinhu zvemuzimbabwe zvifambe zvakanaka, kuti kusatengeswa makomo. Tikuona kuti makomo ari kutengeswa iyo nyika ichinzi iri independent. Saka zvavari kutaura speaker izvezvo, aiwa no, vanhu vezimbabwe ndo varidzi venyika. Saka kuratidzira kwaita ma-MP edu vamira nevanhu vavakavhoterwa navo. President vedu vakaofewa kunzi vaite opposition member, vapiwe motikari, vaite prime minister. Izvo zvose vakaramba nokuti vakati vanhu veZimbabwe ndo varidzi veZimbabwe. So until we have a new and fresh election, the speaker can harp and say whatever he wants, but Zimbabwe belongs to Zimbabweans.
Aha, Miraiti daidze Vamufambi. Vamufambi, did you hear the sentiments being thrown out there by Vamuringai?
Yes, totally. However, it's actually a big and disheartening. Because look at it, it is the same Zimbabweans that ZANU-PF is concerned about. It is the same Zimbabweans that the Speaker of Parliament is concerned about. Because you cannot have MPs who can only legitimize the process when it is in their favor. You can't have MPs who have allowances, who have vehicles, who have their hotel being paid by the people of Zimbabwe, and they choose not to represent those people. Because look at it, it was actually common sense that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the opposition was supposed to be responding to the nation, to the Senate. But what are they going to respond to? Because they didn't attend, because they didn't, they are trying to delegitimize a process that is legal, that is within the purview of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, that is paid up by the people of Zimbabwe. So they are actually stealing from their voters because whether they will not vote for you so that you boycott and sleeping hotels and not attend parliamentary business. That is unlawful. That is political unlawful. And as ZANU-PF, we are not very much worried about the CCC, and we know that we are dealing with political kindergarten. We know that these people are not serious about statecraft. And as a party, we go ahead and deliver what the people of Zimbabwe expect from us. And this is prosperity, and this is good health care, and we leave no one and no place behind. We're trying to achieve this as espoused by our president. So basically, we won't focus about who attends the parliament or who doesn't, because the parliament will have this procedure to deal with those errant MPs. But to have these 10 people benefiting from state resources, then they will try opportunistically, to say the people that voted for them, it is very sad. And actually, the people of Zimbabwe can now see what kind of people they voted. They can actually see that the product of accident of victory been retained in Parliament, and these products should actually be shut down as soon as possible.
Muchiri papo mabvamandi pakuti ndiite umwe mubvunzo tambobvunzawo vamuringai kumashure uko kuti zvekuboyikota izvi kuuya kuparliament zvinobatsira papi. Ndoda kuuya kwamuri vamufambi and ask you this question here kuti don't you think kuti constitutionally, you know, it's their democratic right as enshrined in the Zimbabwe's Constitution to demonstrate or to protest whenever they feel there is need to?
Totally, you are allowed to demonstrate in Zimbabwe, and it's constitutional to do so. And everyone has a right, fundamental rights for that matter. However, you don't exercise your right at the cost of another person's rights, because these people are the constituents, and the constituents have the right to be represented. And when you fail to do that, you fail to deliver on what the people have trusted you to do. So these people actually, they are breaching the people's trust. These people are dishonest. These people were ready the day they took the oath, but they get to have this oath taken was set by the president, who they are saying is illegitimate today. And you know, it's quite cynical and surprising, because I don't see they legitimize the rest of the process except that Chamisa lost the election. You ask them, how many votes are you saying Chamisa got to when you say you read? They don't get a figure. Because they not claim they lost this election. And the money that was given to them. So basically, we can't actually reduce the debate of principles. We can't actually reduce the people of Zimbabwe to political toys, whereby we play their feelings whenever we feel we should. So basically, this is political enablers, and the rights of the people of Zimbabwe are at stake with this anything.
Okay, tapanzwa hapo. Ndodzoka ndoda kuya kwamuri vamuringai. We understand now that with all that's going on in Zimbabwe, there is a future vechidiki vemuzimbabwe. Imimi sevechidiki mubato reCCC zvamakutarisira kuti zviitike kubva iko zvino kuenda kumberi, tichitarisa basa reParliament, tichitarisawo kuti kunewo vechidiki vebato renyu vakakwanisa kupindawo as member of Parliament muparamendum. What are your expectations? What do you wish for going forward?
Vazvininga maita basa nezvamuri kutaura zvatiri kutoita kuratidzira kwaitwa nema-MP edu nhasi nezvaratidzwa napresident wedu vaChamisa for the past 5 years kuti principle is very important. Zimbabwe is a nation of people, various tribes, the bouquet of humanity. Saka vechidiki vedu, which is 62%, I think, 53% female young generation, haingangova passport generation yekuti pauno graduate from college you need to go outside Zimbabwe to succeed. Handizvo zvinofanira kuita. Kumira kwatiri kuita kuti tilegitimize the government structures. Ndopa tikutaurira youth yedu kuti tarisai takamira nemi, kana zvinhu zvisina kumira zvazvinofanira kuita hatisi kuenda nzvimbo. Tiri kurememba kuti vamunangagwa vari kunzi vakaendawo kuhondo vane 16 years vakamirira zvavaibhelieva kuti was the way Zimbabwe needed to go. So we see all of our youths 90% unemployment handizvo in a country ine munhu akaita saStrive Masiwa who is recognized in all countries in the world, ine vanhu vakaita sana Baba Shingi Munyeza, ine ma-scientists nema-doctors all over the world except in Zimbabwe. Saka toda kuti kuma-youth edu esati kutaura nawo, toda kuti makampani akaita sana Caps Holdings adzoke patai-create our own malaria drugs. Toda kuti makampani akaita sana National Railways yakatanga iyo kuita automatic switch gauge Zimbabwe, all over the world, because we are a brilliant people. Yeah, okay.
Let me hold you again there for a second. We have another caller on the line. Caller, if you can hear me, welcome to Live Talk, The Connection. Murikopi. I am guessing we've lost the caller. Can you hear me? Caller, hello?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? We are sorry, we've just lost the caller right there. But anyway, Vamuringai, we had heard your thoughts in this. I think let's also give Vamufambi a chance to respond to that ideology. Tinzwewo kuti ivo se bato vechidikyo vanofunga kuti kudi. Vamufambi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. So basically, he's mentioning that there are Zimbabweans all over the world, and he's also confirming that Zimbabweans are a blessing to the world. And they are also confirming that Zimbabwe, through the vanity of educational policies, uplifted its people who can actually fit in any economy in the world, and that is a plus for all players. Going to the issue that you asked about the young people, as a party, we believe in collaboration and cooperation, which are very essential features for us to achieve sustainable development and to make sure that we uplift the lives, the standards of living of our young people across the board. We are also dedicated to make sure that we have good governance, we have transparency, we have accountability, and we ensure that our actions reflect the aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe. And we have done that by making sure that we attain all essential state programs that have been subscribed by the people of Zimbabwe. We are also open to constructive criticism and feedback as a party. Or existing engagement upon Zimbabweans, regardless of their political affiliation, to join hands and work towards the common vision of a prosperous and united Zimbabwe. So basically, we are not focusing the majority on the opposition and what they are electioneering. And we have promised them to say we are always asking for a re-election. The re-election will be there, and it will be there in 2028, and not anytime soon.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, aiwa takunzwa varume mataura pano nyaya dzakakura. You have all thrown in my points. I hope vateereri vanzwawo. Ndoda kuti tigowana kamwe kamukana kadiki kekuzoverengawo zvishoma zviri kutaurwa nevateereri vari kuona chirongwa pamadande mutandapo. Saka Vamuringai, ndiri kukupaiwo 30 seconds muchidimbu, your parting word. Tozopawo Vamufambi 30 seconds, his parting words, tovhara chirongwa. Ndotanga nemi Vamuringai, mashoko enyu ekupedzisira.
Mashoko angu ekupedzisira ndeyekuti Zimbabwe zivai kuti vachamisa neCCC yakakumirirai nevhoti renyu yesi yamakaita haina kurasika. Nyika dzese dzakataura kuti kwanga kusina sarudzo, saka ndo zvatamirira kuti kuve nesarudzo itsva.
Aha, thank you so much Vamuringai. Vamufambi, your parting words, please.
Dear Zimbabweans, now that elections are over and voting is over, we don't live in election mood. And our focus is to deliver the mandate that we gave our president and the party. And the party will always remain with the people. And we never actually sell out the votes that we gave us for purposes of political or so. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. That was Tim Muringai, CCC official here in North America and Ohio, and Francis Mufambi, a ZANU-PF information officer based in Harare. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I wish we could go on and on, but until next time, this brings us to the end of our show today, and we would like to thank everybody, and of course the listeners, the viewers. The show is yours, and I wish you good night, Zimbabwe. Until next time.